$2 million to buy the whole company. The one where you have been an employee for 12 years. Same floor, same bay, same red toolbox, your name taped to the side. You have $60,000 saved, 12 years of overtime. That is 3% of the price. You own 3% of nothing. You think buying it makes you the boss. It does not. It makes you the loneliest man in the building. Private equity buys another American business every single hour. They strip the name for parts. The builders get a check and a door. A clock is running over this whole shop. You cannot hear it yet. Soon, it is all you hear. Level 1. The employee. You know this place with your eyes closed. The smell hits first. Hand cleaner and hot brake dust. The orange soap by the sink. You run the floor. Not the owner, the manager. You open at 6. You cut the checks. You calm the angry customers. You know which account pays late. Walt owns it. Walt Halverson. His name is over the door. He is 66. 40 years on this concrete. He has no kids. He has this. The shop is the only child he ever raised. You started here young, green, fast hands, no patience. Walt slowed you down. He taught you the things school does not. How to listen to an engine. How to tell a customer the truth. How to eat a loss and keep a name clean. Then there is your toolbox. Red steel, 4 drawers, your name on a strip of tape across the top. You bought it used your first month. You could not afford it. You bought it anyway. It is rolled to the same bay every morning for 12 years. And there is Sal, the bay next to yours. He started 2 weeks after you did. You came up together, 2 kids under the same lift. Sal is the best hand in the building, faster than you. He never wanted the paperwork. You did. That is the only difference between you, the paperwork. You eat lunch together every day, same bench, same bad coffee, 12 years of it. He knows your kids. You know his divorce. When your father died, Sal covered your bays for a week. He never said a word about it. This is the whole world. The bench, the bays, the bad coffee. Walt in the glass office doing the books with a pencil. You think Walt will die with a wrench in his hand at 90? You do the math sometimes, never out loud. You know what the shop makes. It clears close to $450,000 a year after everything. You know your own paycheck, $70,000. You know the gap between those two numbers. You never let yourself finish the thought. The thought is simple. Somebody owns all this. It is not you. Then one Thursday, Walt calls you into the office. He shuts the door. He has never once shut that door for you. And you know, before he says a word, that something just ended. Level 2. The offer he did not expect. Walt looks older with the door closed. Smaller. There is a folder on the desk. He does not open it. He tells you he is done. His hands are done. The doctor said the word he hated. Retire. He is 66. 40 years is enough. He says it flat, like a man reading a part number. You start to say the normal things. We will get you help. Hire another tech. Cut your hours. He raises one hand. He stops you. Then he tells you the part that turns your stomach. He already has an offer. A firm called. They buy shops like his. They roll them up. 20, 30 at a time. You know the type. Everybody in the trade knows the type. They keep the sign for a year. Then the sign changes. They cut the senior guys, the ones who cost too much. They raise the labor rate. They gut the parts margin. They squeeze until the good name is gone. Then they sell the shell to the next fund. Walt says their number. $2 million. Cash. Clean. He could sign Friday and never smell brake dust again. Something drops in your chest. Sal. The floor. The bench. All of it. Sold to a spreadsheet in a city that has never seen the place. Then Walt says the thing you did not expect. He does not want to sell it to them. He looks right at you. He says he would rather sell it to you. You laugh. It comes out wrong. Nervous. You tell him the truth. You have $60,000. He needs $2 million. It is not close. It is not even the same language. Walt has heard this before. He knows how businesses change hands. He tells you to sit down. He tells you that almost nobody who buys a shop like this has the money. That is never how it works. Then he says one sentence. You will carry it the rest of your life. I do not need a buyer with money. I need a buyer I trust with my name. You sit there. Your heart is doing something strange. Hope is a physical thing. It hurts a little. You have wanted this for 12 years without letting yourself want it. You ask the only question that matters. How? How does a man with $60,000 buy a $2 million company? Walt slides the folder across the desk. He says, this is how. And now the real story starts. Level 3. The number. The folder is a plan. Walt did not come to retire. He came with a structure. He built it with his accountant. He built it for you. Here is how a man with nothing buys a company. Pay attention. This is the part they never teach the guy holding the wrench. The price is $2 million. You have $60,000. That covers 3%. The bank covers the most, a specific loan, an SBA loan, made for exactly this, buying a business you did not start. The bank will lend $1,400,000. That is 70% of the whole thing. But the bank has a rule. They do not lend to a man with an empty pocket. They want to see equity, skin, real money in the deal that is not theirs. You do not have it. $60,000 is not enough skin for a $2 million deal. Not close. So Walt does the thing a fund would never do. He fills the gap himself. He carries a note. $340,000 of the price he does not take in cash. He lets you owe it to him. Over years, out of the profit. And he does one more thing. The thing that makes the bank say yes. He puts his note on standby. It means he gets paid last, after the bank, after payroll. If the shop has a bad year, Walt waits. He signs a paper that says the man who built this waits in line behind everyone. Do the math with me. $60,000 from you. $1,400,000 from the bank. $340,000 carried by Walt. That is $1,800,000. The last $200,000 is the clever part. An earn-out. You only pay it if the shop keeps making money. $200,000 over 3 years, out of profit that has to show up first. If the shop dies, you never owe it. Walt is betting on you with the last piece. He is putting his own money on your hands. 60, 1,400, 340, 200. It adds to $2 million. The whole company, bought by a man with $60,000. Then the bank puts the last card down. The personal guarantee. You sign your house into the deal. If the shop fails, they do not just take the shop, they take the house your kids sleep in. You read that line 4 times. Your hand is not steady. You look at the profit. The shop clears about $450,000 a year. The loan costs about $227,000 a year to carry. That leaves room. The bank wants the profit to cover the loan almost twice over. It does. On paper, it works. On paper. You have 30 days to sign. Or the fund signs instead. Level 4. The yes. You do not sleep for a week. You sit at the kitchen table at night. The house is quiet. Your wife asks what you are thinking. You cannot say it out loud. If this goes wrong, we lose this table. All of it. You run the numbers again. And again. You know them cold now. 60, 1,400, 340, 200. You are hunting for the crack. The reason to say no. The safe reason. You do not find it. Because the real reason to say no is not a number. It is fear. And you have been afraid your whole life. You watched your father be afraid his whole life. He rented until the day he died. He never signed anything big. He called it being careful. You loved him. You do not want his ceiling. So you say yes. The closing is nothing like you pictured. No handshake in a boardroom, a lawyer's office over a bakery, a stack of paper an inch thick. You sign your name 40 times. Your hand cramps. Somewhere in that stack is your house. Somewhere is Walt's trust. Somewhere is $2 million. Walt signs last. He does not smile big. He puts the pen down. He looks around the little room like he is saying goodbye to someone. Then he shakes your hand. The same hand that taught you to hold a torque wrench. He holds it a second too long. He says 3 words. Do not sell. You know exactly what he means. Not to the fund. Not ever. Keep the name a name. Then it is done. You walk out into the parking lot. You are the owner of the whole company. And here is the part nobody warns you about. You feel nothing. You thought you would feel like a king. You do not. You feel like a man who just borrowed $2 million. The sky is the same. The fear did not leave. It got bigger. It has your house in it now. You drive back to the shop. Out of habit, it is Friday evening, empty. You walk the floor in the dark, past the lifts, past the bench where you and Sal eat lunch, past your red toolbox sitting in its bay, your name on the tape. You own all of it now, the lifts, the building, the name over the door. You do not own the one thing that made it worth buying. You find that out on Monday. Level 5, the first Monday as owner. Monday comes. You get there at 5, earlier than anyone. You make the coffee. You always made the coffee. You stand in the empty shop and wait for it to feel like yours. The guys come in at 6, and the shop changes. You feel it the second the first truck pulls in. Something in the air bends. They know. Of course they know. Walt told them Friday. The manager bought the place. You are not walking to your bay this morning. You are walking to the glass office. Walt's office. Your office now. Sal comes in last. He always comes in last. He sees you standing by the coffee. He nods, formal, like you are a customer. 12 years of good morning. 12 years of that same dumb joke about the coffee. Gone. In one nod. You try to fix it. You grab 2 cups. You walk over. Same as always. He is already under a hood. He says, "Morning, boss." Boss. Not your name. Boss. You want to say, "It is still me." But it is not. Not anymore. You signed a paper that made it not. Here is the thing nobody tells you about buying the company. You do not just buy the building. You buy the distance. Every man on that floor works for you now. The bench is not a bench between friends. It is a table between an owner and his labor. You cannot unknow that. Neither can they. Lunch is the worst of it. You walk to the bench out of 12 years of habit. The talk stops when you sit. Not all the way, just enough. Just a half second of quiet that was never there before. They talk about the game. Careful now. Nobody complains about the boss with the boss on the bench. And the boss is you. You start eating in the office. Alone. You tell yourself it is about the paperwork. It is not. The bench died on Monday. You cannot stand to sit at the grave. Then the number comes. The one that really breaks you. Payroll. Your first month. You run it yourself, and you see it plain. Sal makes more than you do. He is a senior tech on flat rate and overtime. He clears about $85,000. You are the owner. Every dollar of profit is already spoken for. The bank, Walt, the earnout. You pay yourself $70,000, same as before, less than Sal. You own $2 million of company, and you take home less than the man at the next bay. The man who will not eat lunch with you anymore. That is the trade. Nobody tells you about the trade. You did not buy a raise. You bought a weight. And the first thing it cost you was the floor. Then Sal hands in his notice. And you almost lose the only thing Walt gave you whole. Level 6, the second generation. Sal's letter is 4 lines, polite, cold. Another shop offered him more. Maybe true. Maybe not. You both know the real reason. He cannot take orders from the kid he came up with. Pride is a real thing on a shop floor. It is most of what a good man has. You could let him go. Owners let people go. But Walt's voice is in your head. Keep the name a name. And the name was never the sign. The name was Sal. The name was the floor. The name was a customer trusting that his breaks were done right by a man who cared. So you do the one thing an owner is not supposed to do. You go to him. Not as the boss. You sit on the bench. The dead bench. You tell him the truth. All of it. The $60,000. The house on the line. The paycheck smaller than his. You tell him you are drowning. The only face you want in the boat is his. You offer him something real, not just a raise you cannot afford. A piece. 5% of the shop, earned over 5 years. A path to a glass office of his own someday. You make him an owner too. Slowly. The way Walt made you one. Sal does not answer for a long time. Then he tears up the letter. He says one thing. Fine, but I still get the good bay. And the distance, just a little, closes. The years go by. You learn the job behind the job. Owning is not fixing. Owning is carrying. You carry payroll through a slow winter. You carry the earn-out to the last dollar. Walt cashes the final check and cries in the parking lot. You pay the bank. Slowly, the $2 million shrinks. One good year at a time. You hire a kid, young, green, fast hands, no patience. He shows up the first week with a cheap toolbox he could not afford. His name is on it, on a strip of tape. You watch him roll it to the far bay, and you feel 40 years of this trade run through you like current. You are not the employee anymore. You are the man in the glass office doing the books. You became Walt. You did not notice the day it happened. You keep Walt's name over the door. You never change it. People ask why. You say the truth. It is not my name. It is the name of the thing. I just work here longer than most. Then one afternoon, the phone rings. A number you do not know. And you learn that the clock has been running the whole time. The voice is calm. Corporate. He works for a fund. He wants to buy your shop. He names a number bigger than $2 million. He says you should think of your family. You ask one question. Delgado's, the big shop across town, your biggest rival for 20 years. He goes quiet. Then he says it. They already own Delgado's. They bought it the same week you signed with Walt. The exact same week. The clock. The one you could not hear on the first Monday. It was always this. A fund, buying the town one shop at a time. The same kind of money that turned Caliber Collision into 1,700 locations. They were never in a hurry. They just wait. They buy the ones who get tired. They buy the ones who die. They buy the ones whose kids do not want the wrench. You look out the glass. At the far bay. A kid is rolling a cheap toolbox with his name taped to the side. You say no. You hang up. For now, the name stays a name. Somewhere right now, a man is being handed a folder across a desk. He has $60,000 and 12 years of grease under his nails. He thinks the hard part is the money. It is not. The hard part is Monday. He does not know that yet. You never owned the machine over the town. You only own the one shop it has not reached. That, and the tape on a toolbox with the next kid's name. If you want to see how fast all of this can go the other way, watch the story of the man who bought a shop just like yours and nearly lost everything in 90 days.